Have you ever stayed quiet in English, even though you knew what you wanted to say? Because you were afraid you might say it wrong, like the sentence is right there in your mind. But you freeze. You start checking the grammar. You start hearing your accent. You imagine the other person's face changing, like they are thinking, "Oh no, this is awkward." And then you do the safest thing. You smile, you nod, you keep it short, and you leave the real you trapped inside your head. Here is the surprising truth that most English learners do not believe until they experience it for themselves. Native speakers usually do not care about your mistakes, not in the way you think they do. They care about one thing. Can they understand you? Can they connect with you? Can the conversation move forward? And if you could truly feel that in your body, not just understand it logically, your English would change. Your life would change. Because the biggest problem for many adult learners is not vocabulary. It is not even grammar. It is the fear of making a mistake in public. It is the pressure to sound perfect. It is the habit of translating inside your head while time is passing and the conversation is moving on without you. So let me speak to that part of you that wants to speak English confidently, but keeps pulling back. The part of you that says, "Not yet. I need to study more. I need more words. I need more practice." And yes, you do need practice, but you do not need permission to start speaking. You do not need a perfect version of yourself to begin. You just need a new relationship with mistakes. Think about how children learn their first language. They make mistakes all day long. They say things that are completely wrong. People laugh, not because they are judging, but because it is cute, because it is normal. And the child keeps speaking. The child does not think, "I embarrassed myself." The child thinks, "I am communicating. I am trying. I am alive in this language." Adults lose that because adults have pride. Adults have identity. Adults have professional image. Adults have trauma from being corrected. Adults have memories of a teacher or a boss or a stranger who made them feel small. Maybe you had a moment like that. Maybe you tried to speak and someone interrupted you, corrected you, or looked impatient. Or maybe nobody did anything bad, but you imagined they did. Sometimes the fear is not in reality. Sometimes the fear is in the movie we play in our minds. Let me tell you what many native speakers are actually thinking when you speak English with mistakes. They are thinking about what they will eat for dinner. They are thinking about their own problems. They are thinking about their next meeting. They are thinking, "Did I leave the oven on?" And when they listen to you, they are not grading you. They are not giving you a score. They are just trying to understand. If they do not understand, they ask a question. If they do understand, they respond and keep going. Native speakers make mistakes too, all the time. They forget words. They say the wrong thing. They change their sentence in the middle. They pronounce things differently depending on where they grew up. They say, like, kind of. They start a sentence and then restart it. And nobody says, "Wow, your English is terrible," because it is normal human speech. But when you are learning English, you hear your mistakes like they are loud alarms. You say, "He go to work yesterday," and inside your mind you are screaming, "Wrong, wrong, wrong." But the native speaker often hears, "Oh, he went to work yesterday." The meaning arrives anyway. Communication happens anyway. This is the key idea I want you to keep hearing today, because repetition helps it sink in. Your goal is not perfect English. Your goal is understood English. Your goal is connected English. Your goal is brave English. Now, why do you struggle with this so much, especially if your English is already intermediate or advanced, because you know too much? That sounds strange, but it is true. Beginners often speak more freely because they have no choice. They do not have enough grammar to overthink. But when you reach the intermediate stage, you suddenly have many options. You know the past tense, the present perfect, conditionals, polite forms. You know there are rules. And then you try to choose the perfect option in real time. Your brain becomes a control room with too many buttons. And while you are choosing, the moment passes. You also struggle because you are translating. You start in your native language, and then you try to convert it into English. That is slow. That creates stress. And stress makes you forget even simple words. It is like trying to run while carrying heavy bags. You can do it, but you will not feel free. So what do? We change the focus. We do not remove mistakes. We remove the fear of mistakes. Imagine you are traveling. You are in a cafe, and you want to order something. You say, "I want 1 coffee and 1 cake." But you meant to say, "a piece of cake." You said, "1 cake." Will the person hate you? No. They might smile. They might ask, "1 slice of cake?" And you say, "Yes, please." And you eat cake. Your life continues. Your English did its job. Or imagine you are at work. You are speaking in a meeting. You say, "We need to discuss about the budget." Maybe you know that discuss does not need about. Maybe you know it, but the word about comes out. Does the meeting stop? Does everyone look at you and think you are not intelligent? No. People keep listening because the idea is clear. And you sound like a normal person speaking a second language, which is actually impressive. And here is another truth that might help you. Many native speakers feel respect when someone speaks their language, even imperfectly. They think, this person is making an effort. This person is brave. This person is doing something hard. The judgment you fear is often not there. Often, what is there is patience or curiosity or simple acceptance. Of course, sometimes you will meet a rude person. Sometimes someone will correct you in a harsh way. That can happen. But that is not about your English. That is about their personality. Do not build your whole identity around the worst person you met for 30 seconds. Let me give you a simple picture to hold in your mind. When you speak, you are throwing a ball. The other person catches it. If your grammar is perfect, the ball is smooth and easy to catch. If your grammar has mistakes, the ball is a little messy. But if it is still catchable, the game continues. The goal is not a perfect ball. The goal is to keep the game going. So how do you keep the game going when you feel nervous? First, slow down your inner world, not necessarily your speech. Many learners speak fast because they want to escape the moment. They want to finish the sentence before the mistake happens. But confidence is not speed. Confidence is calm. When you feel that fear, try this mental shift. Instead of thinking, "I must be correct," think, "I must be clear." Clear is easier than correct. Clear means simple words. Clear means shorter sentences. Clear means using the vocabulary you already trust. You do not have to show everything you know. You do not need to impress. You need to connect. And if you cannot find the perfect word, do not stop. Describe it. Use easier language. If you forget the word for elevator, say the machine that takes you up and down in buildings. Native speakers do this too when they forget a word. They circle around it. They use gestures. They give examples. Communication is flexible. It is not a test. Another thing that helps is to stop apologizing for your English. Many learners start with, "Sorry, my English is bad." I understand the emotion behind that. You want to protect yourself before the mistake happens. But that sentence trains your brain to feel small. Instead, you can start normally. Or if you need a sentence to feel safe, use a confident, simple one, like, "Just to let you know, English is not my first language." People usually respond kindly, and then you can speak without carrying shame. Now let us talk about thinking in English, because it is connected to confidence. When you translate, you are always looking backward. You are checking your native language first. That keeps you tense. Thinking in English is like, look it forward. It is faster. It is more natural. And you do not need to be advanced to start. You can think in very simple English. In your daily life, start labeling what you see. Coffee, keys, traffic, meeting, tired, hungry, later, tomorrow. In your head, narrate small actions. I am washing the dishes. I am looking for my phone. I need to reply to that email. At first, it feels artificial, like you are acting. Then one day, it feels normal. And that day is powerful, because you realize English is not only something you study. It is something you live inside. And here is a gentle trick. When you notice yourself translating a full sentence, pause and shrink it. Make it smaller. If in your language you are thinking, I would like to ask you if it is possible to reschedule our appointment to next week because something unexpected came up. Do not force yourself to translate that perfectly. In English, you can say, "Can we move our meeting to next week?" Something came up. That is natural. That is fluent. That is what many native speakers would say anyway. Fluency is often about choosing the simple path. Not because you are not smart, but because you are speaking, not writing. Speaking is messy. Speaking is alive. Speaking is imperfect, even for native speakers. Let me share a personal style reflection that many learners relate to. There is a moment when you are about to speak, and you feel a tiny door inside you. If you walk through that door, you speak. If you do not, you stay silent. That door is not grammar. That door is courage, and courage is a skill. It is something you practice in small moments. You practice by ordering food even when your sentence is not perfect. You practice by asking a coworker a quick question without planning it for 5 minutes. You practice by making small talk in an elevator, even if you only say, "Busy day today." You practice by letting yourself be a little awkward and surviving it, because that is what your brain needs. Proof. Your brain needs evidence that mistakes do not kill you. Your brain needs to see that people still like you. People still respond. You still get what you need. You still belong in the conversation. And when you do make a mistake, try not to react like it is an emergency. If you can correct it calmly. You can say, I went yesterday. Then continue. No drama, no apology, just adjustment and forward movement. That is exactly what confident speakers do. Not because they never make mistakes, but because they do not stop the world when a mistake happens. Also, remember that accent is not the enemy. Many learners want to erase their accent because they think it equals mistakes. But an accent is not a mistake. An accent is history. It is identity. It is your life in your voice. Your goal is to be understood, not to become someone else. If you want one mindset that changes everything, it is this. Speaking English is not performing. Speaking English is participating. Performing is when you feel like you are on stage and everyone is judging. Participating is when you feel like you are in the room, in the moment, building meaning together. Participation is human. Participation is allowed. So next time you are in a conversation and you feel that familiar panic, I want you to ask yourself one question. What is my message? Not what is the perfect sentence. What is my message? Then deliver the message in the simplest English you have. If you need to repeat it, repeat it. If you need to rephrase it, rephrase it. That is not failure. That is communication. And I want you to remember something very practical. Most native speakers are used to hearing different levels of English. In many countries, they hear international English every day. They hear different grammar patterns, different word choices, different accents. Your English does not need to be perfect to be normal. International English is normal now. Over time, your mistakes will change. Some will disappear. Some will stay for a while. That is fine. Progress in speaking is not a straight line. Some days you feel fluent. Some days you feel like you forgot everything. That does not mean you are getting worse. It means you are human. Here is the final picture I want to leave you with. Imagine your English is a road. Perfectionism is like standing at the start of the road, cleaning your shoes, checking the weather, reading the map again and again, waiting for the perfect moment to begin. Confidence is walking, even if your shoes are not perfect, even if it is not sunny, even if you take a wrong turn. Because when you walk, you learn the road. When you walk, you get stronger. When you walk, you arrive. So speak. Speak with mistakes. Speak with an accent. Speak with simple sentences. Speak with courage. Native speakers do not care in the way you fear. They care about understanding. They care about the flow. They care about the human being in front of them. And that human being is you. You are allowed to take space in English. You are allowed to be imperfect. You are allowed to be in the conversation. The next time you have the chance to speak, do not wait until you feel ready. Speak, and let the speaking make you ready.